Hello, everyone. This is Gil with the Padawan Unlimited podcast, a Star Wars Limited trading card game podcast and YouTube channel. Today, I am joined by the ruggedly handsome Corey and Rob. How you guys doing?
Hello there.
Hello, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. I will never not accept a compliment like that. So
I should have oiled and trimmed my beard.
I know. I wish I could grow a facial hair that long, but I'm Asian, so
I feel your pain there.
You can't do the wispy Fu
I mean, like, I'm not the kind of Asian that can get that length. That I mean, there are obviously Asians that could do that. All right, enough self-sabotage. So a couple of pieces of logistics. We are almost to round 4 of the Padawan Unlimited League. Check that out if you have not. If you don't know what that is, join the Discord and read up on it, because there's a lot to go on. It's been really fun. Common only league. I love it. We had the winner last week, Mr. Meyer, who won the cheapest deck at like 70 cents constructed. So that was amazing. We're gonna host the Cup to Top Cut top 4 soon. So that's great. If you have not checked out our previous video last week, where we did like a box break of some stuff that FFG found us, or FFG gave us. Thank you for all. Thank you to FFG for doing that, by the way.
Yes.
We are giving away cards in those packs, so check out that video. Yes. Check out the links. You know, not many people said, "Hey, if people don't want product, that's fine." But we only got this because of you, the listeners, and we are eternally thankful for you all. So appreciate you. But if you're a new listener, watch that video, but also please remember to like, subscribe, tell your friends, leave a review, or do that positive stuff. It really helps out the channel as we grow slowly and steadily this Star Wars Unlimited community.
Yes.
Okay.
And just real quick, we will be sending out that constructed lightsaber soon. So if you're wondering where it is, it hasn't got out yet, but it is going to be going out this end of the week.
Yeah. Thank you, Corey, for taking care of the shipping for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Okay, so we do segments here. Again, if this is the first time you're listening, we go collection, meta, and then some type of main topic. Today's main topic is going to be deck building. I think it's appropriate since we're hitting the new set. So we'll talk about a little bit about everything we're doing, some good practices, some stuff we're working on, but we'll talk about that there at that time. So Corey, going on to collections. What do you got for us?
Collections. Well, it's an exciting one because this week we actually have new cards. A new set was in pre-release. Technically, when this podcast comes out, I don't think that the set is actually officially released, right?
Yeah.
Nope. But it is during pre-release, we do get to get the cards and purchase packs and cases or boxes or whatever you're going for. And I know some of you guys have gotten some things, and I have also gotten a couple things as well. I got a couple carbonite boxes, and I was 2 for 2 in showcases.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Which showcases? Because these guys don't know which ones. I didn't tell them yet, but I've got Governor Price here.
Okay. All right. She's on Lothal, right? That's her Lothal picture.
Yep.
And then I also had gotten the Jabba.
Oh, you pulled the Jabba.
You got the Jabba? I didn't know. Dude, the Jabba looks good. I think that Jabba looks really, really friggin' good.
Yeah, I like this Jabba a lot because he's a little more cartoony, but he's got a little bit of a smirk going on. He's like doing this little hand thing where he's like, oh.
Yeah, I really like the art on this one. And honestly, as a leader, he's actually very, very interesting. But we'll talk about that in a little bit here. But for me, Gil, I only purchased one carbonite, and I did hit on it. And Karma reared its ugly head. I was bad talking Satine, and guess who showed up? Her day drinking ass turkey goblin showcase.
Keep it clean, Rob. This is a family friendly show.
Yeah. So Satine reared her head, and I now am the proud owner of a day drinking turkey.
Hey, I like that leader. I want to. Once the prices go down, I'll try to trade you for it. So I actually pulled a showcase as well, not in a carbonite box or regular box. I pulled it in a pre-release kit.
Whoa!
So I got super lucky. I did 3 pre-releases this past weekend, 3 different stores, and on the third store, first box, first pack, I ripped open a Bail Organa showcase.
Very cool.
Oh my god.
That I like
So
the
cool.
showcase because it's not just him. I like when there's more going on in there. And
Yeah.
there's other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, like the Hondo, the Hondo
Yeah.
showcase. I
Yeah.
love that one. That was his
It does
crew,
look really good.
Yep.
and I think that one's how much is that worth still? Let's look. I'm gonna look that
It's
up. While you,
probably not
Even
much.
the
It's
Jabba.
probably-
What's interesting, like with Jabba, is like on the leader side, he's got the little guy in the back there,
oh yeah,
and then on the unit side, it's just a blown up picture of him more in focus. But
yeah.
I do like when they do that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Is Hondo still like going for like what 50, 60?
I feel like he's probably-
$67. That's actually
Okay.
not bad.
Yeah,
Good
good.
price. Yeah. Are you guys gonna invest in any more like carbonite stuff? You think?
I'm not certain. I didn't love the treatment for the prestiges. Let me rephrase it. I didn't love the prestiges for half of them. I didn't really like the bounty puck ones. With the exception of, and I'll just kind of show. I have a couple of them here. The second level treatment on the bounty pucks looks really really good.
So,
But
so-
the yeah, go ahead.
no, sorry. So tier 2 prestige cards for the
Right,
bounty pucks.
with the foiling,
The
With the
foiling.
foiling.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
Sorry, go ahead.
but like the regular one, it doesn't pop. So I've actually got two Libertines, so you can see them side by side. So like, this is the regular one where it's just it's very flat.
Make sure you check the YouTube video, guys.
Yep.
For you listeners out there, he's got the cards up on the screen.
Comparatively, you get a lot more depth, and it looks like a hollow puck with the tier 2.
So I think that like when I think I see what you're saying, because the tier 1s, it's instead of foiling, it's just a white background. And so it falls really flat in that sense. I think that's what you're trying to say. Like that's one of the things that I think I'm getting. And then but the foiling really makes it seem like, oh my gosh, this is like holographic, like
And it feels more prestige, right? That's what this card is. It's supposed to be a special card. I do think the official ones are a little bit nicer because I like the color. I think
Yeah.
that I did not like the puck ones as much. The bounty prestige cards, like you're saying, I felt that the colorless part of them actually just took away from the card a little bit. And now you actually have to know the aspect symbols a little better. Just like, wait, what aspect is this?
Yeah, and now the propaganda ones, the official ones, I do think look really really good. So by like comparison, here's a nice little Orn Free Tar level 2, and they really really pop. So like for me with the carbonite boxes, if I'm 50% of the prestiges, I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel great to me.
So interesting you say Orn Frita because I traded one of my showcases to get a number 4 Orn Frita.
Nice.
That I'm going to get in the mail in the next couple days. So next week, hopefully, I'll have to show you. I've been collecting like special numbers, like 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 2, because that's the first serialized card I got, the Executor. And then I've been collecting a lot of 4s. So I have like a number 4 Oppo Rancisis. I have a number 4 Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm gonna have a number 4 Orn Frita. Like I don't know. I know it's unlucky. I know number 4 is actually unlucky in like Chinese.
It depends.
culture.
Yeah, it depends on the different places, right? But for you, that's your number, so you gotta go for it.
Yeah, man. I'll never be number 1, but I could probably become number 4.
Number 4. Yeah, but like I do. There are some banger cards in here, like and like commons and uncommons as well. Like that's where the funny thing is, like that's actually where I'm waffling about it because it's like, oh, I can get like hyperspaces of like Cinta.
Right.
Like
Gotcha.
and Cinta's also a bounty puck.
Now we do get a lot. I have noticed we get a lot of legendaries. You guys get a lot of legendaries in your boxes.
Yeah, the hit
mine
rate's
were
higher.
grouped together a lot. I got 7 of the Winmore card. The Win card? What's that one?
Oh, wow! You got the 10 cost. It's the 10 cost red villainous one.
Confidence in Victory or something.
Confidence in
like that.
Victory. Thank you. I'm like, oh, I know what it is. I got 2 hyper foils, 2 hyper spaces, 2 regulars and 1 regular foil. I'm like, what is going on?
So I didn't get any of those, and I'm kind of happy about that one, to be perfectly honest. But
Yeah.
I actually did not pull any Darth Scions or Darth Treyas though, which I was very sad about. So there's it giveth and it taketh away.
Did you guys are you guys just talking from your carbonites, or like do you open regular booster
I
boxes?
also opened regular boosters.
I have
as well.
got 3 booster boxes and 2 carbonites.
Okay.
And I was 1 and 2.
I
Mhm.
got a case of regular boosters and 1 carbonite, and that one has really I got a really good spread so far. I mean, I got the 3 Treyas, I got like the 3 confidence victories, I got 2 Cassians. Like I got a pretty good mix. I don't have a playset of all the legendaries and rares. Like I still don't, which is like wild to me that you can buy that much product. But I guess it's because they're rare, right? And legendaries you're not really supposed to.
I
So
got 5 of this bad
exactly.
boy.
what is that bad boy? You gotta
Darth
That's
Nihilus?
Nihilus, Darth Nihilus,
Darth Nihilus.
and 2 hyper foiled Darth
I think
Nihilus as well.
I think Nihilus is the most expensive one at the moment.
Really interesting. Yeah, I pulled 5 of him. I did pull play sets of like most
didn't
of the
pull
cards
single
that I was looking
Nihilus.
for, with the exception of Treya and Scion though. So I was happy in general with my legendary pulls.
I can't believe that the Darth Nihilus hyperspace foil right now is going around pre-sale like $48.
Are you serious?
That can't be right. That's not going to last that long. That is wild.
No,
to
well,
me.
no, I don't think it lasts that long, but I think
Oh crap! I should list
it's
these.
going to be around that $30 range until we start seeing it played more, and then we'll find out if it's actually going to hold the price or not.
Yeah, I mean the regular one's going for 17.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's the most. What
and
figure?
there's been sales. There's been a lot
Yeah.
of sales. There's been like 40 sold so far.
I will say it does look really good. Like the foiling catches the lightning that he's doing. His lightsaber pops. Like it is a really good looking hyperspace. So
People
I
love
can
their
see why.
KOTOR, man.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna say people love the character, right? So like that always adds to it.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be, like, now that we've seen cards in play in a little bit? What do you think is going to be
The
like,
legendary of this one?
legend, like the Anakin
Padme.
of this set?
Padme.
I think you are way too high on Queen. It's Queen Amidala, by the way.
Yeah, Queen Amidala.
But I think you're way too high on her.
Wait, why do you think you're way too high on her? Tell me more.
Based off of playing against her and playing and being played playing against her, I just don't think I cared that much when she came out.
Okay.
It didn't impact me at all, really. It was like, it felt like when she came out, they were trying to do things that to not win. It's like as much. I don't know. I just didn't went in the pre-release. Now this could be completely wrong. I understand, because it was a pre-release and we were only limited to certain cards, and with a constructed deck, it may change a lot.
Yeah.
But
I think that's where you're selling her short.
yeah. So but I was just like, when like I was like, oh, okay, but you gotta have officials. So.
I think when it comes to so I think you're both kind of right in a lot of sense. Queen Amidala, just like, to me, it's just for Rob's side. Queen Amidala is a just automatically useful legendary in that, like, it's a green heroism. Great. You build the board wide at that point, so you insulate yourself against a lot of things, actually. Single target removals or whatever, power of the dark side, etc. You are kind of using your whole turn to do that, but you don't really care. I also agree, though, in just a constructed deck, like, I don't care. Someone played Queen Amidala against me constructed, or the pre-release, and I was like, oh, whatever. I'm gonna defeat these tokens, and then it's just a 3-body that, like, I could just kill. I could defeat really easily because it's a 3 on the bottom. Yeah, so I see both sides of this, actually.
Yeah, I do think she's not as strong in limited and pre-release when you can't build around her, but when you can build around her, I think she becomes a problem.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I actually think that Scion is going to be a very like, that one is going to be a valuable card.
Interesting.
I think.
I do think he's good.
Yeah.
What specifically though, Gil? Like what's making you think that he's going to be better than, say, like Amidala or some of these other, like,
Nihilus right now currently?
Yeah, Nihilus or even like
Treya,
Cassian, right?
Well,
It's like,
so, like, for me, right? What I would do with him especially if I had to play him on turn 5 resource turn, right? I would imagine that. Well, my style is I like to go low. I'm a go low, go hard kind of guy in that sense in the game style. So for me, I'd be especially in like a green in like a green deck. Like if I have super laser tech, I'm gonna throw that into whatever is on the board, defeat it, get the resource, right? I'm gonna start just trading all my units in, and then Scion comes out as at least a 7, 6, 7, 8 potentially, and then at that point, if you defeat him, he just comes right back to my hand anyway. So I didn't actually lose a card. You know what I mean? And you had to do stuff
To get rid of him.
to get rid of him, and I don't care if I'm trading into you because I'm trying to get him strong. And then what ends up happening is the 6 resource turn. Like now you have a leader coming out with a 7/7 body already that like is going to return to a hand, and then if you defeat the leader, you can play him again, and he comes out of 6/6. I just like the fact that he has this redundancy thing going on,
Mhm.
is just really powerful, and I think that like mechanic, if there's a world out there where I think he's really useful in that sense, and the card looks sick.
Yeah.
The card looks sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think particularly in Gar, he's just a problem, right? Because all you need to do is kill one thing, and then he's just going to keep recurring.
Yeah, he's a 7/7 at all times with Gar. So can you imagine before?
Well, he's a 7/6, but yeah.
7. Sorry, 7. No, he would.
Because if you kill one thing, he gets +1/+1, and then you
Right,
get +1 from Gar.
7/6. Return him, right, and
Yep.
just keep playing him. And then so there's a 7/6 on the board before the flip. You ECL in Vaders. I don't know. Who cares?
Sure. Yeah.
That's why. Anyway, so how about you, Corey? What do you think? Like, do you have a?
No, I liked Nihilus initially just because it was a pure black, so it can fit in any villainy deck. I do like those, and I think Lando was cool because it was a pure blue, like Anakin was.
That
Yeah.
boy.
But
Lando.
but
Lando's a pretty good one.
But yeah, I don't know. I was leaning towards Nihilus just because of the coolness factor and I do like that ability, even though there's risk to it. Being able to just hit,
I-
do extra
yeah.
things on your action, right? You're doing extra damage.
I think Nihilus is going to be sick, especially if we see a meta with a lot of like weenie units, like Cad weenie.
Mhm.
Ugh,
This guy Nihilus
Cleans
is
up.
gonna clean up, right? At 7
Yeah.
resource. All right, let me claim blap, blap.
Yep.
And I could see why that would be it's already still valuable. Like just
Mhm.
the hyperspace itself is selling for $23, which
Yeah.
is really good. And there's been sales, for it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do think all of the KOTOR like units are pretty valuable in this specifically the legendaries, but even some of the non legendary ones I think are also very good.
It looks
Okay.
like Obi-Wan is actually the most
Oh, I got my playset of him too.
expensive one. Just looking at it now, Obi-Wan's going for $30 hyperspace.
Hyperspace Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are trying to the Satine thing. That's the Sabe.
Sabe.
thing.
Sabe, yeah.
They're trying to make her work, and he's built for that deck.
I mean, a
right?
4-cost 4/5 is pretty good still.
Oh yeah, 4 cost
Yeah.
4/5. You survive a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Just like the Typho, like that Typho card. I
Mhm.
think is very valuable, especially after rotation. I know people keep talking people talk about it. Can't wait until it gets there. But like Typho, he's a this can't be right, but like his regular card, pre-sale is like $4.
Is he an uncommon or is he a rare?
Well, he's a starter, a special
Oh,
card,
he's a
right?
starter. Okay.
Yeah,
Isn't he
yeah, yeah.
special? That's probably
Yeah.
why.
There was a foil card that's selling right now for like $4. There's been three sales. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I believe it though. Typho and like also Ahsoka
Mhm.
from that deck. She's like for green aggro, like probably red green aggro. She feels really strong as well.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. It's well, either way, I think what we could safely say, at least right now, is that the starter cards are it's really nice to get a starter deck in that sense, because like there's gonna be useful cards in it anyway. And you might as well get the starter deck just because, like, especially if you want to teach someone new, bring in someone to the game, it's a product that's kind of worth it. I mean, I get both starter decks every set, so
Yep.
like I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, the Padme one in this one is particularly has a lot of particularly good S cards.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's move on to the meta segment. That's okay. Corey, Rob, I think we're going to talk about some limited pre-release stuff. What you got for us?
Well, Java supremacy is what I got for us. We've talked about kind of draft strategies in the there he is, draft strategies in the past, and looking for specific leaders. And let me tell you, Java is really strong, in particularly in a limited format. I think he's got legs outside of it too, but in a limited format, this leader is just a problem. He's hard to get rid of. Number one, he's got an 8 butt, and then his both his leader side ability and his flipped ability are just cracked in limited. You just start 2 for 1ing back to back to back, and it's so hard to stay on the board in an environment where there is very limited single target removal. He just dominates a board, and you can trade, or you can trade or survive, even take something out. Like he's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty backbreaking, and there's just so many good villainy vigilance cards in this set.
Yes.
I mean, like, and not only some of them are just like commons and stuff, like, or uncommons, like Cantwell Arrestor Cruiser, the 7-cost ship, capital ship, is amazing.
So,
it's
so
the
good.
6/7 that basically tap something down permanently.
Yeah, it's like if you have Jabba in that card, like, game's over, because you just shut down whatever big unit they have, and they're not going to kill that. They're not going to defeat that in space. There's no hard removal. Like, it's really hard to like get rid of that ship.
It's the one hard removal that is really strong here is it's the one that if you attack base, it retaliate, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
It's like, so if you have a unit that attacks base, you can then play it and then it kills it. So like, you
have to hope that you draw that one card and you also get it in a sealed thing. It's like,
a lot of things that have to happen perfectly to line up for you to get that to go off. Yeah.
But that's like the most useful, like, and it is a common, to be fair. But it like, that's in honest truth, that's like the most useful single target removal right
retaliation.
Now. Yeah, retaliation. That's what it is.
And it just sucks that it's like reactive. Like you have to
wait.
You have to get your base hit first and then defeat something. It's just like, it feels bad. But Corey, you played Jabba during your pre-release. How did it feel for you?
So I did the one pre-release and I played them. I was trying to figure out which color to pair them with, right? Which aspect, and it seemed like every aspect worked pretty well. But in a pre-release meta, I wanted to go as fast as possible, right? I was like, you want to go aggro, right? So I went with the red, and it worked out pretty well. Your game against you, that match was rough because I was like, oh, this is gonna go. The first game, I was like, oh, I got him easy, no problem. And then you sideboarded well. I feel like you really figured them out and were able to mitigate a lot of the things that Jabba was trying to do. So that was cool.
That was I had to get big very fast.
Yeah. And Luthen was perfect for that, like trading up all the time. Like that was good. That was great. But I did get to play Condemn against you, which was like the highlight of of my time.
God.
And I didn't even have a blue villain card in my hand at the time. I did draw like the aspect I needed because I can show 2 cards, right? You just have to disclose them both. But I didn't have both colors at the time, so. But it was fun. I was like, yes, got him.
So just so Condemn is a new card. It's an upgrade card.
It's good.
It's a 2 costs? I forget. No, 3
it's
costs.
3 costs. 0/0 upgrade. But
0/0 upgrade. Yeah, but it forces an opponent, like if on attack, when the opponent is attacking, you as a defender can show like a blue black.
No, it's just blue.
It's just blue and black.
Just blue black. Just blue. Oh no, blue. I'm thinking about the ship.
The ship is blue black. Yeah.
So it's just a blue black, and it's a -6 to attack, and you get rid of all abilities. So think about like red 5, that has like does like 2 damage.
Yep.
Like nope, goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just
overwhelm
shut down
doesn't matter.
shut down Poe.
Saboteur. You can't.
Yeah.
No Saboteur.
I
All
think
of it.
Saboteur is the one thing that does happen because it happens before you have to select the target before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to select the target before you use the one attack. So that's the only one that does
Is that
trigger.
is that
I
judge
didn't think
approved?
about that.
I
We'll
think
have
I
to-
did actually read it was a judge decision on that one.
Interesting.
But,
Okay. Well,
but
I
that is
still-
the one that is the one that does still trigger because of where it happens in the stack.
But like, yeah, well, all the when defeated stuff or
Mhm.
all
On
those things.
attack, anything
Yeah.
else.
Bye.
Anything else?
Sentinel, get
Yep.
rid of Sentinel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real good.
What other so I don't want to talk about Jabba for the next 25 minutes. So what other I mean, we could, but what other leaders have you guys seen have been really effective or cards? Well, we'll start with leaders. Let's talk with like maybe one or two leaders and then we'll go into cards.
So I've only played in one pre-release. Just life for lack of a better way to describe it. I did play with Daedra, and she's interesting in a limited environment because you're probably not triggering the damage very often, but you are drawing a lot of cards with her, which if you have a deck that has like a bunch of singletons is actually really interesting. In the games that so I actually ended up playing against Gil in my final game, and like you two owed me, but like both games were very very close, and part of it was because we were like I had solutions in hand, right? So I was able to slow you down a little bit through there, and I just needed that like little bit to kind of get over the edge. She's interesting. I don't think she's as good as there, but the other one that I do see coming around a lot, Satine. And it's because that restore 4 is huge. And then there's a lot of other restore in this set. So it makes it really hard to like get over that, get over the hump with her.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
against her, I guess.
No, I think that's fair. I think Satine is very interesting. It's like instead of going aggro, you're going control-y,
Yeah.
like with like heals. So I totally get that. Corey, I think you only also did one pre-release, but
Yep,
now that
just
you've
one.
gotten some games under your belt, do you think Jabba's the only answer, or do you think there might
If
be?
we're talking like sealed pre-release stuff currently, I did see like a lot of Mon Mothma getting played.
Yeah,
And that's a common leader, so you're going to open Mon Mothmas more. And there are, we mentioned, a lot of good green hero cards in this set. So you have the Queen Amidala, as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, and you could have Figures of Unity. That's a great upgrade in that set. So I noticed there's some pretty nice green cards that were available to that leader, and the powers is pretty good too. Like what does she do again?
It takes out the aspect penalty for
The officials, right? So you can put in officials that are
non-villainous, I guess.
Well, non-villainous, right? So from like the red, the yellow, the green, well, blue, I should say. And if you're pairing it with the other colors, you get more officials in there,
yeah.
which will help with your Queen Amidala again.
No, I love that because I think that helps fill your curve. Like
Yeah.
you just have options.
And
'Cause
there's
I played
so
Mon
many
Mothma.
officials.
I played Mon Mothma in the thing. I had blue cards, yellow cards. I had all types of stuff in there, so I had a lot of options.
Yep.
Yeah.
With her. So I totally agree. It's like
And she
she's really
comes
good.
out early and it's 3/7. Like that's a great stat line.
Yeah, it's
Especially if
the Quinlan stat line.
especially if you have upgrades with plot. So you could probably
Yeah.
get like plot armor.
Oh,
No.
Unfortunate.
I think that's just really powerful. I think a really interesting leader that if I got her, I think I would actually use her. It all depends on the card mix, obviously. But I think one that could be really powerful is Governor Price, actually.
Ooh,
So,
another one.
If
So
you
to
get a
be
lot
fair-
of token generation.
Well, yeah, to be fair, you don't need a lot of token generation. You just need a little bit. But
Yeah.
what I mean that is like, so I played Luthen, I played Mon Mothma, I played Jabba, and I played what was the other one?
Bale, probably.
Dedra.
Oh, Dedra.
I played all those leaders this past weekend, and I did really well, like overall, right? But I never got a Arinda Price or Governor Price, and the reason I think she's interesting is because one of the issues you have with sealed events or limited, right, is that it's hard to fill your curve. Like what do you try? Well, how do you how could you do what you need to do? And I think that the ability to just ready something with that, do something with that extra, uh, that spare
Hanging resource.
Resource?
Yeah.
hanging resource
Yeah.
is just powerful, right? If someone's, someone could potentially they don't spend it, you can, and you could do something for two, like get 2 extra damage on base, for example, or 2 to defeat a unit. Huge, huge. That causes huge turns, and then on the back end, obviously, yeah, like in what Rob said, like you want to have tokens, like
And you're
obviously,
creating token, right? You create a token when you
yeah, yeah,
attack.
create a token. But each ready friendly, this unit gets +1 for each ready friendly unit, token unit. She can become immensely powerful later in the game, which I think is very helpful. Anyway, so I think she can be sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's a tier 1, but I think she'd be sneaky.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit like when we were looking at Legends of the Forest late set, people started coming around on Grand Inquisitor, who most people saw as garbage, but it's like if you if you drafted or opened the right cards with him, he was just impossible to deal with in a limited environment. And I
Yeah,
imagine it's a little bit of that.
yeah. The corrupted saber, or whatever, just made it
Yeah.
impossible. Yeah.
I could see
Okay.
that too. And being a rare leader, you do want to synergize well with whatever cards you get. So a lot of times you either go big or you're not going to use it at all. Like I think Dryden would be interesting as well in a sealed pool because you get that ambush online almost all the time as much as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's. I feel like Dryden's a little bit hard in a sealed environment because like I feel like with him the loop you want to do is like discard a big thing to give something small ambush and then later recur that out of your graveyard, and there's not really recursion in this set.
Right. And that's the issue because especially if you have a 30 card deck, you're going to deck yourself fast.
Yeah.
Just got to add those cards in there. Go bigger.
Yeah. There's not like any. So it's really weird specific combo, but like really expensive law card that would make Orin Free worth it with him. Like
Yeah.
probably not. Not that's too combo-y. Yeah, I think it's Leia. I've seen Leia do really well too.
Hmm.
Really?
Leia's because you could just put the token on her and she just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like maybe I just can't see it because like I feel like I guess you just have to play a lot of like single, what do you call it? Like a single color units, so that you can trigger it, and then you just keep giving it to her, and then. But to me that's kind of weird because then you're like, you have to play a bunch of stuff that's like out of aspect, or at least like is your other color, but not heroic, and then you're banking on that. I guess I don't know. It just feels a little
It's
weird to me.
not as hard as you think
Okay,
to do.
I just maybe I just gotta try it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean because I think that again it's a tempo filler that like
Yep.
you have a curve filler, you have one experience or you have one resource to be able to get 2 stats worth on something on the board. And you do that every turn. There's you hold a card that you might not want to spend right away and just pop, 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 pop. And you're always going to get experience points. And again, there's really hard removal. Like they're going to waste upgrade removal on it, which means that like when she comes out, you could do the plot armor like again, or do whatever you want. And she's, all your units are really powerful. I saw it happen in a couple games. I haven't actually played with it, but I think there's some sneakiness there that
Yeah.
could catch people unaware in the limited format, I think.
Absolutely. It's one of those that you don't think is going to be as impactful initially, but once you see it live and it's working, you're like, oh no, this is going to be rough to get through because now every turn you know that they're going to be adding experience.
Yeah, and that's like the problem that in the last set it was like how do you deal with Snoke? How do you deal with Obi, right? Like if they get that snowball going, and again that was another set with very limited removal. What do you do?
Yeah, especially if you can put it, like you said, Gil, put it on her. It's real good.
Yeah, it's huge.
Are there,
So
I was
go
going to say,
ahead.
are there cards that you're like looking to build around in a sealed thing?
Let me think about this. The one
I mean, if you draw Cinta,
for me, the one card that I really like. I mean, Synta's okay. don't get me wrong, it's fine. I had her for a game, and I never really used her. Or I had her for one of my decks. I actually never really used that card. I kind of like forgot about it. One card that has what was I thought was amazing, especially with my strategy. I'm always about like, let me go wide, so you have to deal with too many things. Renowned Dignitaries is like single-handedly just won me matches because it's a 6 cost command heroism, 5/6, so it's a really beefy body. It's an official, has overwhelm, but it's when played ability. Heal 2 damage from your base for each friendly official unit. So the turn before, I had like Mon Mothma, for example. I probably played Beloved Orator. I probably have like a bunch of officials already. And I slap this dude down at 6 resources and I just healed 10. It's
That's
like,
so nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then the next turn, like, I don't know, I do the Grassroots Resistance card, which is the 4 cost heroism,
That
3
freaking
damage, 3
thing.
heal. It's just like it's really hard to cut. Like, you talk about restore from Satine, like, I don't need Satine if I'm gonna just play him, and then I'm
Yeah.
just whacking you like all over the place.
Or
Just
maybe you
really,
do both.
or yes, or exactly, do both. Anyway, that one card, I love it. I
You
could just be my
definitely
one
got
experience.
played against me in our match, and I was like, "Oh no, this is right." And I was like, "Wait, how did you get down to 0?" I was like, "Oh no."
And I
Yeah.
played it wrong because I didn't realize he counts as an official.
Oh
So
yeah.
so he heals just
I
two
mean,
by
because
himself.
yeah, as soon as you play it down, you get at least 2 heals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What about you guys? What about you guys?
I really like Beguile. It's just Waylay Plus. It's really
Oh,
nice.
so tell me more about more about the
The-
Waylay Plus side about it. What does it
Yeah,
do?
so there is a downside to it, but so it's a 3 cost just like Waylay, and it's a bounce just like Waylay. But at the start of it, you actually get to look at your opponent's hand, and then the limitation is that you can only bounce something that is 6 cost or less. Only
okay.
6 cost or less.
Yeah,
It's just better Waylay. It's so good.
Hmm.
yeah.
That's strong. That's strong. I liked when I was playing in the pre-release. I really actually liked it just as a common like cost card, the Academy Disciplinarian. I thought that card was amazing. It was a 3 cost aggression card. It's a 3/4. When played, you may deal 1 damage to a friendly unit with 2 or less and power and ready it. So like I was constant with Java, I was constantly doing that because Java has 2 or less, and Dryden has 2 or less power initially. So you can actually play him and ready a unit that you've already attacked with, like, and then you combo that up with like the Republic Starfighter red card that's got grit. It's like a 2/3 space unit with grit. So you play that. You can play him. You ready that one. Now it's got an extra damage on it or extra attack on it. I thought that card was really cool to synergize with a lot of the low cost cards and stuff as a common
Yeah.
card.
I agree, and it's hard to defeat because of the 4 body, like
Yeah,
the
it's
3
got a good
4.
body too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, another one that's kind of like that I was very surprised at how useful it is it's called the Regulations Bureaucrat. So it's the 2 cost single yellow
Yeah.
0/5. As a turn 1 play, this thing is bonkers. It just has an action, exhaust a resource.
Yeah.
So you're like you have to throw so much stuff into it. You very likely exhaust 2 resources before they can deal with it. And you're keeping them below curve the entire time. It feels really good.
I never thought about that.
Hmm.
That is because I had that card. I didn't want to play it, but
As
that
a
is like,
turn 1 play, it's really, really strong. Like later, it definitely tapers off, but if you have it for that turn 1, it feels really good.
wow. Because then at the 3 resource turn, you just tap it, and they have to play a 2 cost. Yeah,
And then you probably have initiative, or like you may or may not have initiative, but like, and again, it's 5. It has 5 health, so it's really hard to just straight up kill with like with most turn 1 and 2 plays like combined.
just constantly tap it immediately, like with initiative. That
Yep.
is so silly.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay. Any last? We'll go one more card. Is there any other cards that you guys? Any more cards that you guys are really interested in?
Yeah, Figure of Unity, I think, again, it's a legendary, so we're going from common to legendary here, but Figure of Unity as an upgrade seemed really good from what I saw. I didn't get to experience it live, but playing it in person in other means here it's been better than I expected it to be. Because I was like, it's gonna be okay, but it's actually proven or seems to be a lot stronger than I expected. So I think that card is going to be a card you can build around in a sealed deck if you get that for sure.
Yeah, I think in a sealed deck, I mean, I did it with Mon Mothma. Was
Oh,
great.
you
I
had it.
actually did pull it with a Mon Mothma.
Gotta,
So
I mean, you
that
gotta
feels
play
really
her. I
good.
mean,
it
if you
was
get Mon Mothma with Mon Mothma and Figure of Unity, so
yeah,
all
it's just it was brutal because like I kept forgetting it's 3 different keywords.
yeah.
So like you have to do more damage. You're healing something, and you get over. Like I was like, what am I? I gotta stop playing this card. I'm getting confused. Uh, yeah, no, I agree. That card is fantastic. If you get it, that's something definitely to build around because it goes on any unique unit. So it could be like
Right.
Mina Bonteri.
Yep.
That Mina Bonteri is really big. Turn 2. Like, what are they going to
And
do about it?
again, in the sealed deck is you don't have access to as much removal or like straight up, damage that you can just deal in one shot. So it's good.
Yeah.
And it's 3 costs, command heroism, 2+2+ with overwhelm, raid 1, and restore 1 keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I was gonna say there's one that I haven't drawn, but I think actually might be really good and limited, and I'm hoping like to at some point when I'm doing a limited event draw this one and give it a shot. I think Hired Slicer might be really good. So Hired Slicer is a 3-cost 3/4 that on attack you reveal the top 2 cards of a deck. You can choose yours. You can choose your opponent's. If you do, you may exhaust a unit that shares a trait with the revealed cards, and then those cards get buried at the bottom of the deck that you revealed them from. So you're doing two things with it in addition to just attacking. You're scrying very likely your opponent's deck. You're burying things that they may potentially want. Now you could, in that regard, I know Gil, you kind of feel like sometimes if you're doing those, you might help them draw into something, but then because there's so many shared. Like there's so many officials, for example, in this deck. Like there's a very high likelihood you're going to hit something that's going to do there, and then you get to exhaust on top of it. So I do really think that it could be a very interesting, very powerful card.
What was the card again? And
It's a Hired Slicer.
Hired Slicer.
What's the aspect?
Yellow, single yellow. So it also goes in either
Right.
heroic or villainous.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right. I think it's a great card to end on because it does something unique. And so let's go on to the last segment. We're going to talk about deck building. Set 6, well, it's oriented around set 6, but we'll talk about like best practices and everything like that about it. So I'll go first. I think that like when we think about deck building, one of the main things you really want to think about is get an identity. Like, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be, what archetype are you trying to be? And what leader is going to fit that archetype? Like sometimes some leaders are not meant to be, like Satine. I don't think she's going to be an aggro leader. So don't try to build an aggro deck with Satine. You could try
it now.
I mean, but I mean, I'm thinking about like just deck building so that you can win some games and have some fun while also having some fun. I think that's one of the first things you really want to think about is what are you trying to do, and then looking at the leader that has an ability that matches that. So I think that is really critical, and there's a lot of ratios about that you can get into. But I'm actually curious, like, are there any like principles for deck building that you guys prescribe to or subscribe to?
Yeah, well, for like sealed specifically, if we talk about back to like a pre-release or a sealed event, I try to look at how many of the aspect cards I actually have in that sealed package, right? So that way you can see where you could be stronger or not. Like if I only have 3 of a card in one color, it's not great if I'm going to try to build a 30-card deck. But if I got like 15 cards in that color, it makes it a little bit easier to say, all right, I need to lean into this and see. Then I compare to what leader I might want. If you're talking sealed, when it comes to constructed, it's how do I want to play? Like you said, what is your deck doing? What do you want to try to do with a deck? And so I'm going to try and make sure I want to be more on the control side. I'm going to look at those leaders first, and then what colors will pair well with those leaders.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what both of you guys are saying. I mean, truthfully, Gil, I really ascribe to what you're talking about, and it's like it's all about focus in your deck. More than anything else, you need to pick something that you want to do well. A good example of this that I've been toying around with, although the deck did let me down today, but I ran into a lot of bad matchups for it, is what I've been toying around with and what Zach from Deadpool on our servers has been toying around with is this Thrawn for a yellow deck. That deck focuses on when defeated abilities. So almost every card in my deck either defeats cards, has a when defeated ability, or is somehow playing into that strategy. And like I actually didn't win games tonight, but everything I was doing felt like it was working the way I intended it to. And part of it is I think there's like a learning curve for me on this deck that I need to just kind of get through. But like everything felt like it was clicking, and it wasn't like I wasn't trying to force it. And that to me, is because I'm focusing very much on that when defeated strategy.
Yeah. No, I agree. And when it clicks. Like today, I brought in an Obi-Wan. Well, so a deck I've been kind of working on has been Obi-Wan from Legends of the Force, with a Force base. And today, I'll be honest. So sorry, Joe. I've actually played 0 games of Obi-Wan for like the past, like this Obi-Wan ever. I've never played a game as Obi-Wan. But I
Wow,
just have
only
a lot.
Twilight Obi-Wan, huh?
Yeah, only Twilight Obi-Wan. But I have strong opinions about it because I played Rey with the same color combination using the same like template. But I brought it over to Obi-Wan today. Like I've officially gotten my first matches with it. And the thing that I was trying to accomplish was, all right, I'm a mid-range deck, so I need to like be able to really ramp up and get to like 6, 7, 8 and win by that range, which I did successfully. But the thing that I wanted to test and the thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to shut down ping decks. So today I brought in Cassian Andor, 2 cost units, even though they're not force, and I brought them into the deck and I dominated with them. because people couldn't do anything. What are you gonna do? You can't use your red 5 ability on me. You can't ping me with Padme. You can't ping me with Cad Tarkentown. You can't do anything like that.
So you were
And if you're
going green-blue?
yeah, green, blue, and it was okay to not have the force when I needed it because I was trying to do something. I was trying to. My goal was to play this deck, but with the idea of shutting down ping decks, and uh, and I obviously I didn't get to play like I didn't get to play like Cad, but I did play like Padme. But also, there was other things I wanted to do, like I want to be able to trade into ground units.
Right.
So like I would entrench it. It became 5/5. Like just
Wow, that's I like that.
That's
Yeah,
rough.
that's cool.
always clearing the ground. They can't trade in. They have to go to base, and I'll just keep defeating whatever's on the board. So anyway, those are things that things that I'm trying to do. Like what mechanics am I trying to test? That's what I really think about. I don't know, but do you guys do you guys do that kind of approach when you're building a deck?
A little bit. Like tonight, I actually didn't play with a sideboard because I wanted to see how the deck play. This is the Thrawn deck specifically. How the Thrawn deck played. Just I have all the cards in front of me. I have this idea of what it is, and I want to see how it gets executed. With just that, not trying to sub things out and do, confuse myself with it. It's just like I just want to see what happens if I sneak attack with Krennic on the board. If I sneak attack a legacy run on turn 2, what does that look like? The answer is it's pretty gross, but
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely think I mean, again, it's about focus and leaning into what makes the deck run and what makes it work. Like, with the Palpatine deck that I've been playing, Palpatine yellow, it's green and yellow combination. So how do those aspects play into each other and work together? And what's the end game, right? It's like when you teach a board game, teach a game like a board game or whatever, it's like you want to teach them how to win first.
Mhm.
So how does your deck win? If you don't know how your deck is going to win, you're going to just be muddling around until you lose. So
Yep.
you need to know what your end game is and how you can get there before dying, right? Before you die. So what can you do to get to that point? And that's where, like with Palpatine, I'm trying to get to these big bodies. I'm trying to delay some of the stuff that you're doing, and then once I get to those big bodies, then I just overwhelm you and I try to gain board control. Because what Palp is doing when he flips is he takes something of yours, and now it's mine. And so now I've just 2-for-1 basically, because now I have a leader and one of your units, and you've lost a unit. And so my goal is to make sure when I flip with Palpatine, I am going to have board control, right? And
Yeah.
so, and know your end game, know how to get there, and what can prevent you from losing before you get there.
I think that's a good one of the things that you mentioned, like the 2-for-1ing. Uh, I will say, like as a tangent to that, before Rob, I know you wanted to say something. I think one thing that's really important is card quality, right? You need to not just have cards in your hand, but like the quality of the card, the value you can get with it. Like really think about those kinds of cards before you put them in your deck, because there's a lot of cards that, like, you know, uh, the slave card, it's like 3/5 body, but it does nothing else, right? Should you put in a different card that has similar stats but actually does something? Like I would consider doing something like that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Quality is where it's at. Sorry, Rob. I feel like you want to say something.
Yeah, well, you actually hit on something else to kind of talk about, but there are two things to kind of you'll sometimes hear these terms thrown around. So, Corey was saying, what's your win condition? You also hear it called win con. So, like understanding what your win con is very very important to how you build a deck, and then best in slot. So this is what you're referring to, Gil. So the card at the cost that is going to give you the most value amongst all the cards that you could potentially add in. So like a 3 cost card. What am I gonna? You're talking about this I can't remember the first part, but the slaves card, the generic 3/5. But
Liberated slaves.
yeah, liberated slaves, correct. So, but in the decks that it was being played in, the reason it was considered a best in slot is because at the cost and the stat block that you got, it was very compelling. And in a double yellow deck where you had a bunch of other things that could either tap things down or it could stay out there long enough, it was really really good.
Mhm.
But one of the other things I do want to talk about is, and you're kind of touching on this a little bit, Corey, as well, is we're talking about building decks maybe with a new concept, but what do you do when you have like a deck that you've been playing and now new cards are released, right? Um, so I mean, I know what I kind of do here, but like, Gil, what do you try to think about when you're doing that?
I think about the problems I had. So like I know, for example, with the blue green combo, sometimes it can have a rough time against, well, heroism specifically, not so much villainy. It can have a hard time with some of these aggro decks, just like stabilizing the board, because aggro does, like, it's really hard it really is really hard to stop them sometimes. And then there's also the control side. But before I even get to control side, I'm going to talk about aggro. So like with the Obi-Wan deck that I played tonight, I know that it is a weakness is space, right? And there wasn't much for me to do there aside because their cards already existed. However, I was acutely aware that Cinta is going to be a problem. You talk about it. You've talked about in the past with you get to do Boba Fett and then you get to do Cinta, like, and then just attack, right? So one thing that I specifically did with my deck in order to address those problems was like, okay, space aggro is pretty rough. What synergizes well with that? Graceful Purgle. So like I actually had 2 Graceful Purgles in the sideboard so that if I had to face a space deck, like a Boba or a Luke Pilot or whatever, I throw that in there. It synergizes perfectly with Ezra Bridger, the 3/5 body. It also synergizes with Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan makes that a 3/8. Huge. You know what I mean? That's defeating anything. But going back into it, what Cinta, right? The thing that really cinched it was the new Galen Urso. I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this card. I'm gonna at least have 1 or 2 of them, not 3, just to see if I feel like I like it. And every game I played it, it just felt amazing. So like I just think of those anyway. So that's how I do it. I think about my problems and what if the new cards can solve those problems,
Mhm.
and put in like one or two just to test it before I throw
Yep.
in like three.
Yeah. And like, so from my standpoint, like you're talking about anti-boba tech, and I was thinking about, okay, what makes boba better, right? So one of the things that I was keying in on, and some of these were fairly obvious when you saw the cards released, like obviously Cinta is just like, it's money in the boba deck. Like you get to swing with your pilot leader when you flip them, and it takes away one of the biggest weaknesses that you have with a pilot leader, in that there's a chance for your opponent to just straight up remove them with upgrade removal, and it takes that out of the way. So you're like, all right, yeah, that's like a 3 of instantly. I know that's going into it. But then there were I added 2 other cards into it. And shout out to my partner Sam. She crushed it tonight at locals playing this deck. With some of the ads that I put into this. So the other 2 things that I added in were Punishing One. And Punishing One, again, when you see it, it's kind of a no-brainer, but seeing it played out on the board, it's actually terrifying. So first of all, so Boba flips on 6. Punishing One is a 5 cost, which means you can play it ahead of when he will flip out. Now, the other thing that it does is whenever for every damaged enemy on the board, I believe it gains raid 1. So, or it's +1, one of the 2. So Boba is pinging the board, and you just put this thing out there. You've probably pinged some other things on the board because you've been doing a lot of indirect damage, and then you put Boba out on top of it, and then he just turns into a monster.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying is that like you're trying to find the strengths instead of I was finding weaknesses. You're trying to find strengths and making it even stronger.
Yep.
Like what cards are trying to do those things. Corey, do you subscribe to any of these, or do you do your own thing? You're like, nah.
No, kind of a combination of both, right? You need to see what cards are out there and how, like what I'm thinking of is, I love this deck. How are people going to now play these new cards to counter what I've done? And then what do I need to do to be able to manage that and counter those?
Some 4D chess right there. I'm doing something. They're going to do something, so I can do something back.
I know that you know that I know.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a real, I know we're getting close to time for our cast here, but for deck building specifically, we talked about curve a lot. I don't know if we actually went and explained what curve is, but when we're building decks, the curve is super important because you talked about, tapping the resource. When you're playing your cards, when you build your deck, you're having specific resource costed cards in that deck. And if you're just playing like, I just love this card because it's so strong. If you're only playing really strong cards, you're never going to get to play them early. You're not going to be able to do anything, right? So when you're deck building, you really kind of want to make sure that you have 10 to 12, if you want even more, like 13, 14, turn 1 plays in your deck, right? And those turn 1 plays are going to be like 1 cost, 2 cost cards, most likely, or something that can get you there. So building a deck initially, try to make sure that you will not put yourself in a position where you don't have anything to do in the first 2 turns, because those turns are going to really dictate what that game looks like.
Yeah.
Right. And so
really,
that's super important. And then once you have those turn 1 plays, what's your turn 2 play? What's your turn 3 play? And how many of those cards fit into your deck? Because again, we don't want to start drawing cards that are not going to work. We talk about best in slot. Those are best in slot for a reason, because we want to get them when it's on the curve that we are playing, right? So getting the percentage of those cards, it's something that you kind of have to, you can net deck something, which means look up a deck that does real well, see what card costs are in there and how many of each card costs it's in there, and kind of go from there, and then adjust as you need it. But I think that's one of the big things to really look at when you're building a deck. Also, you just don't want to I'm going to throw all these legendaries in. They might not fit where you want them to. You do need to see what the costs are.
It's also why like 1 cost cards are very important. So, something like Daring Raid, it's great because it's a curve filler. Sometimes you either don't want to play a card that's going to use all of your resources, and having something that's like cheap that you can kind of do something with is always great as well.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? We're gonna running out of time, and I feel like this section we could talk about this forever. But we're gonna
Good.
stop here. We're talking. We talked about some high level stuff. We talked about curve. We're gonna make this like a series. We'll talk about deck building for like at least another week or two. Let's expand on this. I think it's gonna be very helpful, because especially for this new set, and there's new players and everything like that. It's just really good information. I hope that if you're listening, you found this helpful. Please remember to like, subscribe. Rob, Corey, thank you again for your time as always. And until next time, everybody, may the force be with you.